Hello, it's Amanda, the spiritual anarchist. And so the question is, should you let your daughter move in? So right off the bat, I'm getting a strong no for this reading. Here, give me 1 second. I'm getting a strong no for this reading, and I'll go into details here in a second. But I'm also getting a second message coming through, and the second message is you need to spend some alone time here because you have lost touch with yourself, your inner child. You have lost self with your inner peace pretty much, and you're kind of more so allowing yourself to be super negative, and this could be attracting more negative things into your life. But also in this reading, which is based off the question, obviously go with your gut feeling, do what you feel like is right or what you need to do. But this is just what the cards say, and the cards are saying that this is most likely going to fail, or no good will come of this if you do allow your daughter to move in. So let's go play card by card. So we have the Ace of Wands here. And so the Ace of Wands here, actually, no, I want to start with a different one. Actually, no, we'll just go by this way. All right. Yeah. So the Ace of Wands pretty much is saying that, like there's the Ace of Wands in reverse is saying that like you have this thing that you want to do, you have this thing that you want to manifest, but you're just not exactly sure how to do it. Like there's something that wants to come up, but it's just there's a lot of uncertainty, and it's like instead of you actually taking initiative and taking actions and making choices, you're kind of just like sitting and harboring on this, and it's actually bringing you more frustration, and it's making you feel impatient. But the reason why you're feeling impatient is because you haven't taken any action to try to figure out what it is that you want. You kind of just let it linger in your mind. And so this is bringing in a lot of like, and it's almost like you're waiting for a sign, like you're waiting for the universe to just come up randomly and to give you that feeling. But what needs to happen here is that you need to take action on whatever this feeling is. And I feel like you're uncertain and afraid to take action because you don't know where to even start. You don't even know where to begin. You just have this feeling. And so I feel like this is why the Hermit in reverse is pulled, saying that you're not taking enough you time, you're not taking enough me time to really think about that. Same with the Four of Swords. Where's the Four of Swords? Here it is. Same with the Four of Swords. You're just really kind of neglecting yourself here, and you're not giving yourself free time to you're not giving yourself enough free time to sit and think about what it is that you truly want, and you kind of just here comes my cat. You're kind of just want, like, it's almost like you want somebody to tell you what to do, but you really need to find your inner peace. With the Hermit here, you need to find your inner peace and your inner voice that tells you what to do, that gut instinct that you know what you need to do. And it's all about pondering and thinking how to do that, how to get there, to make the decision, because it wants to come through with Ace of Wands. This thing wants to happen, whatever it is. It could be with your daughter moving in. It wants to happen, but you're kind of like self-sabotaging here. And I feel like that's why the cards are saying like this wants, okay, excuse me. So that's why I feel like this idea of having your daughter move in wants to come through, but you are kind of stuck here in the Five of Pentacles, that you don't feel safe allowing this to happen, and you're kind of self-sabotaging, and you're focusing on the negative when this could be a success, but you're going to ruin it before you even get a chance to do it. And this is all coming from a negative focus, and maybe you're afraid of losing something. The Five of Pentacles also suggests that you could have just like suffered from a job loss. This is usually about financial loss, like maybe you invested money in something and it didn't go through, and now you're kind of feeling a little out of wacky-do because of that financial loss. But we also have the Six of Pentacles, so whatever it is, if this financial loss didn't happen, you could be afraid that something like that is going to happen, or maybe that you feel like you've lost something. But then we have the Six of Pentacles here saying that you have financial harmony, like you are in balance with how much money you spend and how much money you receive. Like there's a nice flow going on here. So the Six of Pentacles is saying that you're going to be all right. Like you have this abundance, and you want to give this abundance, and also you maybe on the receiving end of, like maybe your daughter's moving in to help you guys out with bills or something. And so the Six of Pentacles also suggests, or maybe you're trying to help your daughter out, the Six of Pentacles suggests that make sure if you're the one taking or you're the one giving, that you actually think of a way to make either yourself or your daughter more independent, and that they don't rely on you for financial gain, or you don't rely on them, and you need to figure out how you're going to make it so you're independent, because they're usually, with Six of Pentacles, tends to be some type of dependent issue that comes to dependent issues that develop if you give too much or you receive too much. So you want to make sure that you are actually receiving what you're giving, or you're giving what you're receiving. But this says the Six of Pentacles usually is about abundance, and you got what you have, you're independent, you made what you've you got, like, you're fine, like, you're comfortable or whatever, and you're comfortable enough to give, or you're on the other end where the person is comfortable with giving, you're taking too much, or you're taking and it could possibly be too much. Then we got so the Five of Pentacles is saying that there's some type of loss, or maybe you're afraid of a loss or failure, and that is going to bring in you're going to end up sabotaging yourself if you go in with that mindset, or you have this mindset. And I feel like the Hermit and the Four of Swords is also suggesting you need to clear your mind and relax before you even make any type of decision, because right now you are only, with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, right now you are only going to sabotage this, and you're going to have a stroke of bad luck, and things are not going to work out the way that you want them to because of this negative mindset that you're in. So I feel like you need to really sit back before you make any actual decisions and try to find your inner voice. And we'll get into more information. So let's go ahead and move on to the Four of Swords. So with the Four of Swords here, this is all about rest and recharging, and making sure that you are taking time out of your day. Like, you may be a really busy person, taking care of the house, taking care of kids, or working at your job, whatever it is that you're doing, you're focusing too much on other people, other surroundings, and you are not giving yourself enough time to actually rest and recoup, and you're going to suffer from burnout. And then that's also, with you being so busy with other things, this also could be adding to your frustration, is because you're staying stagnant. And that's also clarified here with the Ace of Wands, that things aren't moving in your life, like things are staying the same, and that's because you don't even know what it is that you want right now, because you're just so flustered and so busy that you haven't even taken enough time to actually to rest and to restore. And also with the Wheel of Fortune here, sorry, I got a scratch on the back of my throat. Also with the Wheel of Fortune here and the Four of Swords, is that you haven't taken any responsibility for what has happened. You're kind of like the Wheel of Fortune. This is why I say, no, I don't feel like you should let your daughter move in right currently, is because the Wheel of Fortune tends to mean bad luck is going to happen. Bad stuff is more likely going to happen. Your life is going to take a turn for the worse. You may start resisting change. And I feel like what's happening here is that you haven't really taken responsibility for where you are today in your life. I feel like there's a choice that you made in the past that could have given you a different outcome for this present moment, and you decided not to make that change, and you haven't taken responsibility of your own life yet. Maybe you're blaming other people for the things that you're going through, maybe for this frustration, or for this impatient or this stagnant, your life isn't going anywhere, it's been the same day for years. And that's because you could have made a decision in the past to change that, but you didn't take that. And you're also not taking responsibility for the fact that your life really isn't going anywhere because you aren't making any choices. It wants to happen, change wants to come through with the Ace of Wands, but you're self-sabotaging here with the Five of Pentacles. And so it's only for you. You only really have yourself to blame here, and you have to start taking responsibility for that. And I feel like the only way you're going to be able to accept what has happened, or taking responsibility for the way that you've allowed your life to go, is by isolating yourself with the Four of Swords. You need to stop working so much, or stop occupying your time with other things and other people. And I feel like you're using that as a distraction. And so you need to sit back and restore your soul, restore your spirit. The Four of Swords also suggests that in a relationship that the marriage has gone empty and meaningless. There is no point, there's no love, there's no spark, there's no connection anymore. And that could also be making you frustrated because you don't know what to do. But I feel like here with the inner child, the Six of Cups, that you need to go back into the past and revisit what it is that made you love this person, and what made you fond of this person and to connect to that inner child, and only go back to this connection, or if this is relevant to you, if your marriage feels really empty, only go back into this connection once you've restored your energy, once you've recharged it, once you've like kind of, once you kind of remind yourself why it is that you love that person, and that maybe you've just been focusing so much on the negative, and that's, you really got to take responsibility for your mindset with the Five of Pentacles here, because you may be even isolating yourself. Five of Pentacles also talks about isolation. You may be isolating yourself because you feel whatever it is that happened, whatever loss that happened, whatever bruised ego that you may be working with here, you're just, where was I literally brain dead. Oh yeah, sorry, taking responsibility. So the Wheel of Fortune, yeah. So you need to take responsibility for that mindset. And I also feel like maybe Five of Pentacles suggests that you need help right now. You currently need help, and you're waiting for help just to come along. Same thing with the Ace of Wands. Like, you're not taking any action. You're like, you need help, but you haven't asked anyone for help, and you kind of are expecting people to help you, but you need to let people know that, hey, I'm in a time of need, can you help me do this? And if that's with financial, if you had financial loss and you need some help around the house, or you need some help paying bills, don't be afraid of asking, receiving, but just make sure that you work on having goals that make it so you stay independent, that you don't become dependent on this person. And so, yeah. So let's go ahead and move on to the Hermit in reverse. So the Hermit in reverse suggests that either you're not taking enough alone time, or you're taking too much alone time. And what I'm getting mainly is that you're taking too little of alone time, because the Four of Swords is saying that you need to rest and recharge. So I feel like you have really been neglecting your inner self, and the Hermit is all about, like, ooh, I almost cursed there, I'm sorry. Trying to curse my readings. So the Hermit suggests that you need to figure out how you're going to sit down and you're going to meditate. You're going to find that inner voice that tells you what it is that you need to do, and to listen to it, to find that inner peace. And in relationships with the Hermit, this may or may not resonate with you. This could also suggest that maybe your husband wants alone time, but you want your husband to be more involved, or you want more alone time, but your husband wants you more involved. Either way, whoever is playing that role, if this resonates with you, if you guys both just want alone time, it's fine. If you guys want to be together, that's also fine. But the Hermit is suggesting that one partner wants alone time, and the other person's not listening to that. So if your husband is saying, hey, I want alone time, you need to give your husband this alone time, because it's going to create some type of tension, some imbalancement. It's going to be frustrating. And so this is saying, like, to not fight that. And if that's you, if you want more alone time and your husband wants you to be more involved, he's got to figure out how he's got to listen to you, because the Hermit is all about somebody in relationships, somebody wants something, but the other person is not allowing that to happen. But this also, so that's with, if this is like your guys' marriage. But the Hermit is also saying that you need to figure out how to separate yourself from the mess of the world, the mess of your, not the mess of your life, but the mess of the world and the chaos that could be in your life currently, and figure out how to connect with your inner peace and to walk with that, and to find that inner peace, to get away from this negative mindset that you can be in. And so then now we have the King of Wands. So these three cards, the Five of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, and the King of Wands, all in reverse, two in reverse. These cards go so well together, because the King of Wands in reverse is talking about when you don't take the lead of your life. Like, this is a time right now, currently, you are supposed to be making decisions. You are supposed to be taking the lead, and you're refusing to do that. You're kind of just like, and you're also like kind of being like arrogant about your whole situation, and you're taking things for granted, and you have all these unrealistic expectations. And the reason why you're getting frustrated is because you set this expectation so high, or so unachievable, that everybody's kind of destined to fail. And with the Five of Pentacles, I feel like that's also what's kind of happening. You could even be experiencing failure within yourself, because you have these expectations for yourself and for the people around you, and no one's going to be able to get there. And so you're kind of letting I feel like that's what's also kind of creating this negative mindset, is that you want these things to happen, but they're unrealistic. And so this is where that arrogancy is coming into play. And so like now you're like, well, I wanted this to happen and none of this is happening. Like, what do I do now? I guess I'll just wait for something to happen. And it's like, no, you're not supposed to wait for something to happen. You're supposed to make these things happen. You're supposed to make these choices and these decisions. And if you don't know what choices to make, you gotta isolate yourself and find that intuition that tells you what you need to do, and trust that, and to go with it, and to make sure that you rest and recharge your energies here. So yeah, so the King of Wands is, and this is coming into play why I feel like your daughter moving in wouldn't be the best option here, is because the King of Wands is in reverse, is suggesting that you could be setting yourself up for failure, thinking one way and not really thinking realistically. It's going to set up for failure. You have no actual real plan on how you're going to do things. And then we also got the Wheel of Fortune suggesting that things are going to go down a dark road, or things are not going to happen in the way that you want them to, and everything's going to feel like more of like a failure. So I feel like what needs to happen is you need to figure out how to rest and recharge, isolate yourself from your life, get back and try to get into some type of meditation, or to calmly think, maybe visit the beach, or whatever it is that makes you relax. Maybe even getting a massage will help out. In that way you can get this clarity, this mind, this easygoing mind that makes you feel comfortable taking the lead, and to get away from this negative mindset that you're in with the Five of Pentacles. And so we got the Six of Cups here, and the Six of Cups suggests that maybe while you're isolating yourself, healthy isolation, and you're resting, recharging, think about the past and remind yourself what it is that makes you happy, what it is that brings you pleasure, and what makes you laugh. And the Six of Cups also suggests that there could be this. Okay, so this isn't like a loud message that I'm getting, but I do feel inclined to say it. But I do want to preface this with, this is just typically what this card represents. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. I don't really feel like a large feeling that this is going to happen, but this also could be a sign of pregnancy. Like maybe you miss being pregnant, or something with pregnancy could happen here, the Six of Cups, or maybe somebody around you gets pregnant, because Six of Cups also suggests that you may start spending more time around children, and that's going to bring out this giddiness or this happiness that you've kind of been missing in your life. But anyway, so the Six of Cups suggests that you also need to connect with your inner child. What brings you joy? Like, you've gotten too lost with this adult life, with too much responsibility, with too much going to work, trying to make money, creating a life, that you kind of forgot what makes you happy and what makes you feel young and alive. So the Six of Cups suggests to think about that, and to really reminisce on the past of what made you happy. And if you can't recreate the happiness, like let's say your past memories no longer bring you joy because you've like outgrown them or whatever, you got to figure out what is going to bring you that joy here. And so then we have the Wheel of Fortune reverse, which I feel like I've mentioned multiple times about how this is all about, sorry if spam's